How often do you use cruise control? Frequently, hardly ever, or never? I'd have to say I use it frequently, but only if conditions are right for it. That's what we're going to look at today, when you should and shouldn't use cruise control, and also how to physically operate the cruise control. This is where cruise control is perfect. Out on the open road. Use it on a highway or interstate where there's not a whole lot of traffic around you all the time, and you have miles and miles of open road to travel. I can think of a few main benefits from using your cruise control on the interstate, so let's take a look at those. And if you come up with others, please let me know down in the comment section below. I'm always willing to learn. Using cruise control can help relieve some of the fatigue of driving for long stretches at a time. You don't have to keep looking down at your speedometer because you know what your speed is, and you don't have to keep your foot and your leg in the same position mile after mile. Another great reason to use cruise control on the interstate is to help you maintain a constant speed. If you set your cruise control at the speed limit, then you're not going to get pulled over and get a speeding ticket. Set it at the speed you want, leave it there, and you don't have to worry about getting a ticket. Maintaining a consistent speed can also improve your gas mileage. And that's mainly because you're not making the constant speeding up and slowing down corrections that you might normally do. It's never just set it and forget it. When you're using cruise control, you have to constantly be aware of the traffic around you and be ready at a moment's notice to cancel the cruise setting and regain control of the speed of your vehicle. There are actually more places where you shouldn't use cruise control than where you should. Don't use it when you're tired, fatigued, or in any condition that makes you less than fully alert. Don't use cruise control in a subdivision, even if your vehicle would allow you to set a low cruise setting. Too many things can happen. Worst of all would be kids running out into the road and you not reacting quick enough to put on the brake and turn off the cruise and stop. Never use cruise control anywhere near a school zone. You want your foot on the accelerator with full control over your vehicle. Don't use your cruise control at night because your visibility will be limited, and especially don't use it in a construction zone. Don't use cruise control in any type of bad weather, not in rain, sleet, snow, fog, or ice, or any condition that limits your visibility or your ability to safely control your vehicle. If you're using cruise control and driving on snow or ice, your vehicle could begin sliding. Having cruise control on would just make it worse. That could increase your skid and cause an accident. Don't use cruise control in city traffic. There's going to be vehicles all around you, a lot of stop and go, a lot of speeding up and slowing down, and cruise control wouldn't be practical here and might lead to an accident. Cruise control isn't recommended for new drivers, as it's better for them to have complete control at all times when they're learning. And even when you're using cruise control on long trips, it's a good idea to take a break from it every once in a while. It's been reported that prolonged use of cruise control leads to slower reaction time in using the brakes when they're needed. When you have cruise control on, you want to keep your foot near the pedals. At a moment's notice, you want to be able to put on the brake, cancel the cruise control, and slow down the vehicle if you have to, so you don't want your foot to be very far away from the pedals. You can put your foot off to the side of the accelerator. I often lightly rest my foot on the accelerator so I could quickly accelerate if I need to, and also quickly put my foot over on the brake if necessary. Because the fastest way for most people to turn off the cruise control is by hitting the brake. A quick tap of the foot and it's turned off, and you don't have to hunt around for the actual button on your cruise control to turn it off. Cruise controls come in many different configurations, but they're all going to be on or very near the steering wheel. The one in this vehicle is over on the left side of the steering wheel, and it's actually attached to the center of the steering wheel. Let's take a look at the cruise control buttons. At the top, this button allows you to increase your speed or to resume a previously set cruise control speed. In the middle is the on-off button. The button at the bottom allows you to set your cruise speed or to slow down and decelerate your speed. The button to the left allows you to cancel your cruise control setting. While you're setting your cruise control or making adjustments with it, you should always keep your hands on your steering wheel. Cruise controls are placed on your steering wheel or very near it, so you can keep your hands on the wheel at all times. For example, on this vehicle, I can easily reach all the controls with my thumb while I'm driving. And after a while, after you get used to using your cruise control, you should be able to use the buttons without even looking at it. You'll see here that this cruise control has raised ridges between the buttons, and I know that when my thumb is between the two ridges that it's on the on-off button. If I go up, it's on the resume, increase speed button. If I go down, it's on the decrease and set button. And over to the left is the cancel button. So I really never have to look down at the cruise control while I'm driving. To use your cruise control, first turn it on, then accelerate to the speed that you want to keep, and hit the set button. Then take your foot off the gas and your speed should be locked in. Once you have your speed set, you can increase that set speed by 1 mile an hour at a time by pushing the plus button. Push it once and your speed will go up 1 mile an hour, or like in this case, you can push it 5 times and your speed will increase 5 miles an hour. That's handy if you need to make a small change to your cruising speed. You can also increase your cruising speed by simply pushing the button and holding it down. As long as you're holding the button down, your speed will keep increasing, and when you let go, it will set in at that new speed. Using the set decelerate button at the bottom, you can also decrease your speed in the same way. When you don't want your vehicle to be in cruise control anymore, there's 3 things you can do. Step on the brake, that automatically cancels the cruise control. You can also just hit the cancel button, or you can just hit the power button and turn off the cruise control altogether. Your cruise control is made so that it won't work below a minimum speed. For this vehicle, that's 25 miles an hour. Below that, nothing happens if I push the set button on the cruise control. And when you do have the cruise control turned on and you push the set button, an indicator light will come on somewhere on your dash letting you know that cruise control is active. In this case, it's a little green light over my fuel gauge. Using cruise control is a personal choice. It's not right or wrong whether you use it or don't use it. But if you're going to use it carefully. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and drive safe.